Interactions between actors on a multiplayer game is one of the most important aspects of developing your multiplayer game on an engine. This is why today we are going to learn how to properly replicate interactions between actors. So here we have taken the classic opening and closing door on a game, okay? And we are going to learn how to do that. So for that, we have a platform, okay? This is an actor with simple static mesh that trigger the opening of the door by the actor begin overlay. So you can notice that the actor is replicated, okay, and no need to replicate the components. So here, when the third person character step on the platform, we have a get actor of class, which is the door, and triggering a custom event of open door, which is running on the server, and then triggering the multicast event that is opening the static mesh of the door, okay, by changing or setting the world rotation of that last one on timeline. So why have we done this setting? So notice here that even the door is set to replicate. So this way our door is properly synchronized on each screen of each player. Okay guys, this is important. So if for example I don't replicate the platform and the door, and also on the door I do not use the run on server custom event or the multicast one, you can see that it is also working, but this is not a synchronized blueprint. Okay, well, what I mean by that, if for example one of the players have a connection issue or will disconnect for some reason and come back, he will see the door closed, okay, when it is opened for other players. So this is an error, and this is not how you should replicate or make your multiplayer game. We also have the second way of replicating that door. So you need to replicate the actor and then replicate not the static mesh but the scene, because here you can see that we are rotating the scene and the static mesh is under is a child of the scene. So you can replicate the scene component, and then here you can just use the open door running on a server, and this way the door will be properly synchronized for each player. Of course, for the platform also you need it replicated, because if you make an error by, for example, destroying in-game your platform or your interrupter, for example, some players will see it destroyed and others will keep seeing it on the map, which is not what we want. We need to have the interrupters or the platform replicated and synchronized for all the players. Okay guys, and of course if you are not spawning that actors in real time, you need to check here. For example, in my case I have our platform, which is our interrupter for opening the door, and here if you search on the detail panel, if you search for rep, you can see net load on client. This is the option how to replicate actors that are made on the level or on the map and are not spawned on real time. So this is not working, it is just a bug guys. Okay, I will show you. Let's firstly see if it is a yes, it is replicated. So let's make it not replicated, and here you can see that it is only on the server screen. Okay, and this is a chaotic configuration, because now we can see the door opening because the door is replicated and the server know about it, and the client cannot see the platform but they can see the door opened. So this is how to replicate actors that are put on the level and not spawned in real time of the game. So now we were going to see how to replicate the door or the opening of the door with the second way. So I repeat, we have the platform which is replicated. No custom events here using the replication options. Okay, it's just an actor begin overlap, and then on the door we have only the server. Here, when we replicate a component on a replicated actor, actually we are replicating the transform of the component. The transform, as you know, of course, contain the location, rotation, and the scale. So now you will see that every player will see the door opened and closed because we use a flip-flop. But if you focus on the door, you can see a glitchy movement. Okay, this is because we are just replicating the transform of the door and not the action itself. Okay, so you can use this way of replicating and opening a door, but I don't personally I don't prefer this way because firstly it's not beautiful, it's glitchy, and then it is I think governments on the network synchronization or the data transfer. Okay, so we are not using this way. Actually, we will just let's remove the replication of transform or of that component, and we just use the custom events replication options. So here, after of course the platform need to be replicated, the open door will trigger the multicast one, and the multicast will tell everyone that we are changing the location of the Steam component. So actually what we are doing here is replicating the scene word rotation smoothly or with the appropriate way. So now you will see a smooth movement of the door, and of course it is replicating or replicated. Okay guys, so this is how you replicate an open and closing door. Okay, you can of course add sounds and particles to your door, but actually it is simple. Okay, but I invite you to see my previous videos about how to replicate audio and particles on a multiplayer game, because those components, let's say audio and particles, are not replicated on the network like the static meshes and other components. This is why you need to replicate them with their own way. Okay, so that was for the replicating of the opening door and interaction between actors. So keep in mind that you always need to have the actors the interacting actors replicated. Okay, and then you use the custom events. Okay, you use the custom events with the replication options. Okay, on server and multicast, and don't use the component replication in order to replicate the transform of a component. This is not the appropriate way to do this. One last thing, guys, if you need to change a variable here, let's say door has a variable. Okay, for example, number of time when you can change its position. Okay, let's say a variable named laps. Okay, in this case you need to set it as replicated, and from here when a variable is replicated on a replicated actor, you only need to change its state on a server. Okay, you don't need to use the multicast on the variable, because the server will change its value to each player on the network. So here, for example, you are gonna set your variable here after the server custom event or run on server custom event. Okay, and this is how you change variables on interactions between actors. Okay guys, I hope it is clear and it is important. Creating a multiplayer game, guys, is straightforward. You just need to understand the server and the client concept. Okay, and of course now about replicating an actor and replicating its components, because replicating an actor doesn't mean that you are replicating its components, okay, or the state of its components. The components are here, you can see them, but their states are not replicated, and you need to use the custom events and what I am teaching you in order to change the states of the components and the variables. So for now, we learned how to properly spawn actors, how to do we replicate the components in the how to replicate physics video. We also learned how to replicate variables. We made a video about that. We learned how to replicate animations, how to replicate audio, how to replicate particles. So guys, today you learned how to replicate interactions between actors, okay. It also work for shooting, okay. We talked about that in our replicating physics video. You can see here I am shooting, and the server or the player is dead because I have the object, the projectile replicated, okay. And since it is using physics, I replicated the component. You can see that the bullets are replicated in order to see it properly. And here I am not using any custom events or replicated custom events. I am just changing the dying variable of the first person character, okay. And here it is working because every player is seeing one bullet hitting the character, but it is not synchronized. You can see here that the DIVP is not set to replicate. So I need to set it replicate in order to have no issue with the connection latency or the ping, the high ping issue, okay. Now it is working properly, okay. Now everyone will see the character that even if he joined the session after the death of the character. So all of that is explained in my how to replicate physics video, okay. I invite you to see this. Stay tuned, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and see you next tutorial.